Hi, hello. How is everyone doing today? Sorry for the delay. I was um I was preparing gyoza for the oven. Wait, did I plant the kraken mushroom last time? I feel like I must have, but I guess not necessarily. I don't think we planted kraken mushroom last time. Oh wow, look how many plants. Yeah, we didn't plant it because it goes underwater, right? Yeah. Oh, it can go there. Maybe we don't have as much room in here as I thought. Frost sapphire. We have a bunch of frost sapphires. And boom boom. Did we? Yeah, we did. Anyhow, let's harvest our beautiful garden. Look how many plants we have. Holy heck. I am still chasing for at least one more goblin shroom. Maybe two. Because gobo shrooms, you know? We need gobo shrooms. It's imperative that we get more gobo shrooms. Oops. Yeah, I'm not sure if we'll be able to plant literally everything in here. I guess we'll see some other time. Also, I think I'm gonna reserve this hole specifically just for the purple crystals because they're pretty. Okay. I feel like some of these might benefit from like more space. Like another cave level perhaps. And an attic and stuff. That's okay. That's okay. Yeah, there's a lot of gyoza. We don't need potato sticks with gyoza. It's okay. Hmm? How long? I usually leave it around 15 minutes. But around 10-minute mark I give it another water spritz. Yeah. You can spritz gyoza too. Hmm? What do you mean with hot water? Yeah, I changed it 2 days ago. Okay. I'm not sure I am ready for everything. But yes, today we aim for this. I think we have all of the necessary ingredients to make it. Okay. This is an interesting potion. That's what I said. Okay. So we didn't yet make these potions. So I'm thinking we can do that before we officially open the shop, right? We do have either luck or inspiration. Right, let me check. Here we have Inspirio. Oh, there's no need for. Maybe there is 600. We're gonna brew 5 of those just to have them on hand. And I think we had glue, right? We have a bunch of glue in the thing already. Oh, no, we don't have glue. Okay, good that I didn't make more glue. Inspiration potion. Oh, we have 9 of them. Was it this one? No, it was this one. Yeah. So that's basically the only one we have. I'm not looking a little bit coffee because yes. I kind of want like a game like this, but it's like coffee brewing and stuff. Just normal stuff, baking, coffee making, pizza making. I mean, technically, yeah, never mind. Never mind. I ramble a lot. Because there's a lot of projects I want to make, but I cannot, I will not add any more things to my project list for this year until I did all of the projects I planned on doing last year, which is, it's a lot of them. The only like newish project that I had planned specifically for this year is Patreon. That's releasing on Friday. It's specifically TTRPG themed, so if you're into TTRPGs, the link will be available from Friday. You can follow without, you know, paying me any money or anything. There are gonna be free downloads for your TTRPG games and stuff. Why am I like casually promoting myself? Yeah, there's gonna be a Patreon, but you're gonna know about it when it releases. But yeah, specifically D&D themed, so nothing to do with stream per se. If you want stream stuff though, that's what you can find on my coffee. Anyhow, which one shall we start with? I think I need a new paper. Yeah, this paper is like completely filled with scribbles already. I have this like random habit of just scribbling things down on a paper that's in front of my keyboard. Like, just, yeah. My grandma had one of those ages ago, and I fell in love with it. Because I can just like write stuff down, and it's pretty cool. So, what we're gonna need from basic potions: a luck 3. Okay, maybe I need to remove the previous paper because it's making my writing kinda wonky. Okay, so luck 3. Hallucinations 3. Stinky 3? Yeah. Okay, curse 3. Perfume 3. I have short-term memory loss, but so I have to write all this down. Stench 3, yes. Stench 3. Okay, so those are the normal ones. So we have protection potion, which is frost, lightning, poison, acid, and fire. And I do have like this. Oh, no, that's just frost and fire. Can I use... Wait. Give me a sec. Okay, so acid, fire. Acid, fire, explosion. Lightning. And frost. Now the trick is that the protection one is not the same, because it's protection is frost, and like lightning, poison, acid, and fire. So let me just check for this one. Yeah, we're really like wrong with this one, because this is acid, but here is poison. Right. No, it's poison. Why did I wrote it wrong? Okay, good thing I checked. Okay, so since that's poison, yeah, this is poison, fire, explosion, lightning, frost. Okay, yeah, we already have that one. How cool. I don't think I have any already made. No, I have one. Nah, we can brew 5 more. They sell well. So the sun salt can go here. And please don't look at how atrocious my my book is. It's truly terrible at the moment. It's making it like that. I'm just gonna like stack all of the empty pages down here in this corner. That's what we're gonna do, so everything else looks a little more neat. Because we did spend some time organizing everything. I also still need to produce the poisoner, not poisoner, oh my god, philosopher salt. So we need philosopher stone, philosopher salt, but also life salt. And I think first goes life salt, then maybe. Let me see. Yeah, create philosopher's stone, buy life salt recipe, create life salt, buy philosopher's salt. Okay. So life salt first, philosopher's salt second. We are kinda in the like the final stretches of the game, I think. I think since we finished this last time, we can put our points in alchemical practice here. Okay, wait. So where were we? The funky potions. Okay, so we have mana, health, growth, light, and lust. Now, if you ask me, that's interesting, very interesting. It's some lightsaber shit. Viagra lightsaber variant. Okay, then we have Invis, levitation, fear, necromancy, and rejuvenation. We have strength, stone skin, okay, just give it a little spritz. It didn't do the pip yet, so you're good. Swiftness, dexterity, and sight. And the last one is growth, glue, mana shield, mana protection, magic protection. Oil, and shrink. No, that's a weird ass potion. Okay, we wrote down luck, curse, luck, hallucination, curse, stench, and perfume. Those should be easy. And of course... Oh, we didn't create the extra... okay. Well, we can create them right now. Oh no. What am I missing? We're missing blood rubies. I'm missing one singular blood ruby. Ugh. Okay, fine. We're gonna use the one from the shell. Then again, if we go to the shop... No, if we go to the shop, maybe the dwarf comes along. Okay, fine. Before we create the potions, we're gonna do our shop day. Yes! What kind of potion do you need? You found a magic rock, and neither pickaxes nor bombs have an effect. I have just a thing for you, I think. Somewhere. I have just a thing for you somewhere. Give me a second. Okay. So, as I was saying, I have just a thing for you. What you have? No, he doesn't have it. Guys, he doesn't have it. Also, he does have something new that we don't have, but he doesn't have blood rubies. Oh. We need blood rubies. I mean, maybe we can create it without, because I did use very ridiculous ways of creating the other one. But he doesn't have it. See you next time. You need a potion that makes you stronger, faster, and more agile. I got you. You have to fight an evil sorceress. You need a potion that will protect you against your enemy's magic. You need an unusual potion with some additional effects. Of course you do. Well. Okay. Wait. If we go... Continue brewing from here. I don't know why we're moving here, but we are. Okay, additional protections. Do we have anything here? There's fire protection here. So we can give her fire protection. I would also say like electricity or frost protection on it. Maybe frost. Fire and frost protection. Could be nice on it. Okay. We shouldn't collide with much here. Yeah, perfect. Okay. Although I shouldn't have gone all the way here. I should have... yeah. I did not think that through. Okay, it did a beep now. You already got cat pictures. The most important. No. This there. My friend rescued a kitten and she is thriving. She was so sick. She was touch and go for a while. But yeah, she's thriving. She has like this massive pink fluffy beanbag and she just like completely sinks into it. It's so freaking adorable. I love that cat. Where were we? Potion. She wants something with additional properties. And we got her because we are an amazing alchemist like that. SAS is here to provide the best possible service. Yeah, all of the gyoza is the same. The ones that you like. Each row has the same amount if you want to separate them by plates. Babe? Blue? Did you hear? She did not hear. She did not, in fact, hear anything I'm saying. Look. Okay, maybe I went a little bit too far there. This will totally work for me, right? Okay. Slowly. Aha. Oh, no, why am I going for 3? I don't need 3. I just literally need 1. Well, that worked out better than I hoped. And now we're gonna finish on some frost, which is all the way there. Sorry, I'm separating foodstuffs. But yeah, so we wanted to go there, but we also want to curve a little down, just a little. Okay, so this one goes like shoop shoop. Okay, got it. If we curve all the way here, it's too much. Okay, perhaps we should first go there. No,
There is one too many. Please just move some stuff.
okay. No, almost are done. They're a bit hot, so we'll take it easy. I think we can do one more dragon pepper, like just to here, and then see where that lands us. I feel like that's a little too close. Oh, this would be perfect if it actually reached. I don't think it will actually reach because of the oils. Yeah, see, because we're going through the oil. But this should be fine. Oh, no. Oh, barely. Barely. Okay. Let's give her a different bottle. There. Finish potion. We're not gonna save that one particularly. Where are you? This one, right? Yes. No, this is enough properties. The audacity, the gall to ask for more. Hello, Skyrim guy. I'm sorry. Oh my god. Hello, alchemist. That guard I know has some sort of old knee injury that he keeps droning on to me about. Maybe we've got a potion which could cure that. Why do you help the guard? Oh, your old friends, I see. Yeah. Like, I didn't even play Skyrim. And everyone knows that. Yeah. Actually, I have a pretty good. Actually, wait. Let me wipe up a specific one for you. To help cure the Skyrim's adventure that took an arrow to the knee. Yeah, I'm thinking just a tiny bit like that. And then just like a little bit of sun salt. Oh god, this was scary. Okay. Hot. I'm thinking more healer's header. Bum, 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 bum. I think this should just about to make us, well, just about make us pass the, or not. Or not. It did not. This is like the ultimate healing potion. I feel like that's gonna be a close call. Maybe too close. There we go. I am having fun with this one. I don't think that will infect me enough. However, this might. Oh no. That is dangerous territory. Then again, we only need 2. So... yeah. We're gonna name it later. I know it's perfect. I custom crafted it. No problem. I got you. I got you. Oh, okay. My best potion, but with multiple effects. Also, who messed up my potions here? That is very rude of you people. Mm, hmm. Throwable potion that does damage. I'm thinking fire, frost, and lightning. And let's like minimize the ingredients. Try to. Fuck it, just water lilies. Hmm. I think 2 will be enough just to reach. Yeah. Okay. Now this part is always tricky. But I believe we can do it. Oh no, it's not gonna be 3 stars. It's gonna be close. We shall add, I guess, 1 more of this. That makes it a 3 ingredient potion. what looks throwable enough? I mean, that kind of looks throwable. And I don't think we have ones like that. I need something with 3 colors. Mm. There. I have a perfect thing for you. Yeah, I know it's perfect. I mean, not to brag or anything, but I hear I'm the best alchemist in the lands. Mm-hmm. I got you. Oh, hello there. What kind of potion do you need? Mm-hmm. Say no more. There's a potion I need to make anyway. Okay, you're there. I feel this has to do with luck. I feel this has to do with luck. I feel like luck is... luck is the thing here. We. Okay. Now for the tricky part. Okay. My apologies. In case you heard it, my apologies. Meanwhile, like, nobody heard anything and have no idea what just happened. Where do you lead? No! Ah! I want to save that one. I guess we're gonna have to go through this again. Good luck for good, yeah. Lucky we are growing these crystals. Oh my god, I can't speak anymore. Just look at. No, Tracer, you're not getting the food. It's not really doggo friendly, you know? Hmm. Technically. I think we should be fine just grazing this. Ooh. Okay. It's scary, okay? We need to take it easy. I mean, I could still like save this as inspiration, but I mean, yeah, what am I really losing? One more cloud crystal. Mm. Slowly, gently. You got this. Okay. The hardest part? The sold bits. I believe we can make this happen. Yep. Yeah, I feel like we need a small one like that. Ooh, oh. The other one was better. Okay, so try this one. But what do you have for us? Do we need spell blooms? Yeah, I don't think we're growing spell blooms. And if we are, oh well. I guess. Now you have 64 healers, Heather. Now. It's fine. Weak frost magic potion. Yeah, like I can do that for you. Yes. Sorry, brain farted. Sorry. Okay. Weak frost protection. Oh, not frost magic. Yes, there we go. Oh wow. Acid blobs? Damn. I would not want to be in your skin. Yeah, I have acid protection. Give me a sec. It's poison. That is literal acid, okay. There you go. Oh god. Bruh. It's the type of Karen I don't want to deal with. Okay, water. Only 3 ingredients. Insanity. But wait, maybe. Okay, never mind. So dexterity potion. But simple. Okay. Do I not have any in... More, how this one? Oh, give me a second. There you go. Oh, no, more than 2 types of ingredients. Oh. And I guess that's possible. I'm pretty sure it's possible. We can just like water bloom all the way there and just put something that's makes it go up. Maybe a mage berry. That could work. Okay. There you go. Hmm. Something like that? Oh, okay. Oh my goodness. Oh my god. We have the potion that we need for the philosopher's stone. Mm. Okay, something you can throw its enemies from the distance. Oh, this one? This chunky boy? Okay. You need the best I can offer you. Ma'am, you can't handle my best. Okay. One base. Wine base Viagra. Okay. Also, that's gonna be kind of difficult to make with just 2 ingredients. Hmm. I guess this is like a perfect time to test if salts count as ingredients. This is not gonna go well. Yeah. That is not going well because if I do this, you know what? Maybe he doesn't need like a super amazing potion. Maybe like this will do. No, why did I save the recipe? I didn't want to save the recipe. No. Okay. Your request was a little unusual, so. Okay. I got you. I believe. Like, potion of frost and mind base. Interesting. Very interesting. He's a druid. Oh, you also need a potion, dang. Mm-hmm. So you're not tired. Yeah, I am. Something perhaps like that. Hey. Okay, show me your goods. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I have all of those. Thanks though. Enjoy your potion. No crystal. we need. Oh. Okay, I'm guessing it's not happening today then. But do you have some new potions to display? Like this one here? Tracer is just like drooling next to my food. And I don't think she's allowed to have soy sauce. And it's also kind of spicy, so... yeah. Yeah, this is like chaos potion. Oh, I could have sold him the potion. Swiftness and charm, for whatever reason. Okay, we're gonna put that here. Maybe we sell it to someone. This is a trip, for sure. Like levitation, inspiration, hallucination, magical vision, and luck. That's a trip. What is here, I wonder? Well, that is here now. It's one. Okay. Not for you, Dogo. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. She's looking at me like I betrayed her. Okay. So the potion we have for the thing. No, Tracer, you can't have it. No, you can't lick the plate either. I don't think soy sauce is particularly good for dogs, you know? Yes, it was Hunter's Mark. Mm. And it goes there. Yeah. Mm. And this one that goes in here. Where is it? Mm. There is it. It looks so pretty. Yeah. Mm. Like is that one, right? No, this one. I so we're definitely getting there. Mm. No, there is no more. You cannot lick the plate. You, doggo, have your own food. Skedaddle. I think I should hydrate a little. Give me a sec. Okay, all hydrated. And I have my stick. So curse stench. Well, I don't think. Yeah, I really wanted the red crystals. So I guess we go to sleep for now. Day 70. Our harvest is ready. Pretty bountiful, if you ask me. Our shrooms, our kraken shrooms are ready. I think we only have one more place underwater. Which, Not ideal. Yeah, I don't think this one is growing in the middle. Oh no, that is just one. Okay, okay. But they're like overlapping. Oh, okay, I got it. I thought this was straight because it's like three lumps. Silly. I don't have any food for you, Tracer. Please. Stop. Stop with the puppy eyes, please. Thank you. Okay, she's just mad at me now. Oh well. You find yourself unable to sleep. Oh no, whatever shall we do? Just wait. You want one type of ingredient sleeping potion? Ma'am, who do you think I am? Freaking wizard? I'll have you know I'm an alchemist and yeah. I don't think I can do what you're asking of me to do. Like, I can try. No. I guess Evergreen Fern is like our best option. No, it's not. I don't. I don't understand how she thinks I will do this for one ingredient. And like the thing is red, so I can't offer her anything else. See, she doesn't want anything else. She like explicitly wants just one ingredient for her sleeping potion. Fucking Karen. I genuinely don't know how to what to do. What does she think I can do here? She wants one ingredient for sleeping potion. Let me see if Steam has something to say. I found a thing. I think. No, I didn't. Okay. Here, perhaps? Okay, let me find the sleepiness. Or not. Not. Mm. Oh, it was this one. I found it. Please. Here. Mm. Okay, so it's by okay, I need sleep potion. Okay, so it's by Prevul. Prevul? Prevul. Sleep potion. Late game. We are pretty late game, I think. Can we make it with just one? No, that's not with just one ingredient, I think. Yeah. Yeah, definitely not. Oh, Pharaoh is on sale? I don't know. Not the money I can spend. Anyway, sorry. I'm getting distracted. Okay, I don't know how to make it with one ingredient. I don't think it's possible. Someone tell me if it is possible. If we find out, but yeah, I think we have to turn her down. Like, fuck you, seriously. Alchemist, do you happen to have anything you can take for a good time? Oh, yeah. I have stuff you can take for a good time. However, I did have to make something a little better for a good time. So I think you'll appreciate me taking a little bit of time making something custom for you. Oh no, we don't have purple one. Oh no, we do. Never mind. Never mind. I'm just being dramatic. Okay, I need something to move me, but not too far. Okay. Okay, we're gonna put you over there, I guess. It's okay, it's okay. Everything is under control. Oof. Okay. Our potion seems a tiny bit shaky. we're stabilizing it. It's stable. Okay. And now just slowly. Okay. And now we just have to package it nicely. I don't think we have this specific one. Like, as in bottle. Mm-hmm. Ba-da-bum, ba-dum-bum, bum, ba-dum. Mm-hmm. Trying to find like a good perhaps? I don't know. Yeah, for now it can be like that. Okay, so something for a good time. I got you. Yeah, I know. Other clothing stinks. A nice potion to make the stench go away? I got you. Just give me a second. I think there was perfume here. Yeah, there is there. Because I need to make the perfume for the thing. We do have one with healing and stuff. Which is so fun, it's good. Just... Oof. That might have been a bit too risky on my part. Okay. And then we can take a water cap, plug it in. Okay. And now for the grand finale. Which room? I don't think that doesn't necessarily smell nice. Surely a coincidence that they are regarded for their magical properties. Hey. I think this one should be in this particular bottle. Okay, just a plain perfume. Say no more. Also say no more. I got you, I got you. There you go. I need to make some backup healing potions. Something that will keep a wounded boar from running off. I got you. I got you. There you go. And you need something you can use on shield to add extra protection from different kinds of danger. Here. Hello there. What you got for me? Do you have something new? Nothing really new. Oh well, next time. Bye. Oh, question. Potion with 3 effects. What do you mean it's the same as 2 effect? Okay. Oh, you want oil-based thing. So, okay, how I do it. Basically, this guy wants this. But, basically, wait. Let's use this, for example. I will add a little bit of healing onto it. So, you just go here. You add one thing. You will go up. And you go here. Scroll up to the thing that you want. Or do you mean like 3 stars? 3 of the same effects? Because if that's what you mean, I'll just show you right now. Give me a sec. Basically, you want to line up. You should have like barely visible line here. And you want to line that up. Okay, maybe that's the wrong plant for me now. So I'll just put this in. Basically, you want to just, gently do the thing. And then, okay, for this one, for example, I have to rotate it. Because it's in the oil base and... and it's not good. I can add void soul to erase my mistake, kinda. But yeah, you need to align it perfectly into the thing. So for example, we take one more of this, there. Say, no, this one is perfectly aligned. And we got 3 effects. Okay, you don't finish the potion. So don't click finish the potion if you need 3 effects. For example, I will just casually take this. And I'll add some rejuvenation on it because. So you don't finish it, you just, heat it up. And basically add more ingredients. Right? If that's what you're asking. But if you want 3 properties, then you need to align it perfectly within the outline of this. You wanna maybe try having your potions have compatible properties. Because, for example, the potion you just said, like with the freeze, it won't really have compatible properties. So people might be like, oh, I don't want to buy this potion because the properties are not compatible. So you want to maybe add like healing, growth, and rejuvenation, which I'm doing. These 3 are compatible, right? And then you want to choose your bottle, and yeah. I don't know which bottle for this one. That can work. Yeah, compatibility is also okay. It goes quite in depth actually. And there. See, he likes this. Health and growth are not going together. They do go together. Yeah, I'm also playing normal difficulty. It's oh, ma'am, may I interest you in our special non-organic, completely chemically produced olive oil? Yeah? Yeah, okay. Good. Yeah, customers can sometimes be really bitchy. Honestly. I literally, like, okay, so I'm level 150. We're 70 days in. And I literally had to turn away a customer because she was like, I want this potion, but I want it with only 1 ingredient, and that's it. Like, fuck you. No. Literally impossible to make with 1 ingredient. Maybe possible, like, in later game. But right now, I don't have ingredients for it. You want smaller ears. I mean, I have it, but it definitely uses more than 2 ingredients. But see, this is fine. This is plus. So this is not exclamation point. This is, it has to be like that. It's okay. It's they're gonna come back. You'll be able to buy it again. Like we're currently, yeah. Yeah, papers tend to be really expensive. Make sure to like here on these things you can get more benefits for stuff. Currently I'm going to alchemy practice and we're gonna have better salt restoration, and then I'm just gonna put all of the points in here. Yeah, that's definitely good. However, you want to improve on your trading. I'd say put it like to 5 and then level up other stuff. Because the trading part is what's gonna be important. Like mine is currently increased 100%. But also the purchase price for other things is 50% off for me. Yeah, charisma. Yeah. That's good for sure. So I went kind of like the herb growing and shroom growing, just like some base stuff. As you can see, I still have like crystal seed harvesting on one, and other stuff I thought I had at one. I guess not. Oh yeah, I do. Herb seed harvesting at one. And I can't see shrooms. Oh, there they are. Also at one. Mycelium harvesting. So it didn't like completely level them up because there's no need. Yeah. Oh, the creaky door is driving you crazy. You should also try our thing. As for mana potions and stuff, wait. Okay, so you will have 3 bases, but you can have a peek at my map. So mana is up there. So you probably want witch mushroom. I think is early game. Yeah. You will get to other unlocks too. Tangleweeds. Man, that's water bloom and feather bloom. No, probably wind bloom. Wind bloom and tangleweeds. Yeah, that's complicated. If you use witch blooms, okay, let me show you. Sorry, witch shrooms. They are early game, so when you see them, buy them. But witch shrooms, basically you can just use them, 3 of them I think, and you get a mana potion. If you use 4 of them, you can get this 3-star one. But basically just actually like that. So this would be 3, right? Up to here, and you can get 1 star. But then 3.5. Second. You can line it up. Basically perfectly. Yeah. And you just water it down to slide it to 3-star. And voila. You get your strong mana potion. But yeah, okay, so four witch rooms, you can get the thing. Like, you could even like move it completely. It would be fine. So the first opportunity you get by the witch room to plant. Your muse has abandoned you. Oh no. Whatever shall we do? No, I think I have inspiration in stock. Here you go, buddy. Yeah, really bad anxiety and it keeps you awake at night. Oh no. I feel you. I feel you. Here, try this one. With a potion that you can throw on a monster during battle to deal a lot of damage to it. You're honestly not the only one. A lot of people come with that request. I honestly fear for this town. Bum, bum, bum. Okay, which one was it? This one? Oh no, but I'm literally staring at it. Yeah, there you go. It's a crystal monster, guys. Okay, what was that in your hand? The enchanted geode. In essence, it's a portable miniature cave for carrying crystal seeds. Oh, that's so cool. You developed it yourself. There's special enchanted quartz inside the geode, which can exist without constantly being recharged by the enchanted tree. That's so cool. Show me your goods. No, you don't have the purple one, but you have the red one. Yes. That means tomorrow we can finally create the philosopher's stone. And we have fire citrine and earth pyrite and cloud crystal, I'm pretty sure. Let me just check my ingredients. Yeah, we definitely are growing fire citrine. Okay, thank you. Goodbye. I'll see you next time. Let me just plant our new baby. Yeah. We have even more frost sapphire now. Man, I wish you would come with actually new stuff. Did we serve old customers today? We did. Which means we will have our crystal tomorrow. First, let's take care of our plants. Guys, we got the goblin shroom. Goblin shroom steed. We could place multiple here. Okay, we're just gonna place it here for now. Okay. I'm not sure how many crystals we got, the red ones. Ah, we have 10. Yes, yes. Good, good. It will need some time to, produce more than that per day, but we got it. Now, wait. Wait, I can create 5 substances? Yes. Yes. Freaking finally. Our Rubido. The first one to make the black gem. Okay, so the gems, they unlock when you make them. So when you make the black one, this one unlocked for you. And when you finally make Albedo, Rubido will unlock. No, sorry. Citrinas will unlock for you. When you make Citrinas, Rubido will unlock for you. And when you make Rubido, Philosopher's Stone will unlock. But salt recipes you have to buy. The next one, I think it's life salt that I will have to buy, and then after that is philosopher's salt. And then you kind of officially clear the game. Kinda. Okay, so we did make some interesting things that we didn't actually make copies of. Of course we didn't. Okay. Just the basic fragments. Okay. So fragrance goes down here. And then the trippy one goes up here. Okay, so salts you have to buy from that other alchemist that comes visit you. I'm not sure if he visited you yet, but you said your day 1920, so he should have visited you. You know, black hair, black beard. Kinda annoying. You know, thinks he's better than us and stuff. I'm joking. He's not annoying. I don't know. But yeah, he's the one that's supposed to give you that one. These are gonna be a little complex. Okay, give me a second. So we have some. Okay, so I still need to make stench. I'm gonna use purple. So I still need stench and curse. Okay, that's only from these. Poison. We did that one. Okay, protection one. Need that. And this one. And the invisibility one. Oh, and this one. So total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 potions. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, okay, that's 6. I marked all 6. I don't know the names of any of the people who come to my shop, but yeah. Okay, what are we leveling up now? Better restore salt seems like a solid one. Not that we're making many mistakes, but you know. Okay, so curse. I know we have stench here and curse here. Do we have them on oil map too? I don't think so, but I'll take a peek. Oh, we have stench. Okay. Yeah, we have stench, but I don't think we have curse. Yeah, we don't. Can I, like... No, I can't mix potions in. I don't know, it never occurred to me to try. Okay. That has never occurred to me. Actually, this one, like up to here. Personally, I think that... Oh, that was a little far. It's okay. Doesn't matter. I don't really see like a good use for poop shrooms. Not poop shrooms, what? Stench potion. Why am I squishing it? No. You. Oh, interesting. I'm hoping... no. That was a little much. Come on. Okay. Okay. Also, I'm kind of hoping that the guy will come soon. No, no. Like, that one is kind of appropriate. Or this one. Okay. So we got stench. Check. Okay. Curse is on the water base. Okay. And it's kind of tricky to get to. A little tricky. Oh, I don't know why I went all the way. I shouldn't have. Oh well, it's fine. Oh no. That was poorly calculated on my end. Technically, there's like a smidge of a chance that I could make it there, but Maybe I shouldn't mess with it. Oh, oops. I looked away from the screen. I'm not sure if that was noticeable. Okay, so what we're gonna do here. Oh no, that's not good. My brain didn't do the math. However, now that we are here, we can use void salt to erase our mistakes. See, there is reasons to use void salt. No, I already have it here. Woohoo. That was a little much. Please don't explode. Okay, I think we're just gonna do this to avoid certain doom. Oh goodness. Okay. And now we can use, what do we use? That's not too bad. But perhaps kind of bad. Okay, we can use that again. And just put it to here. Then, so we can go with some hairy banana. We didn't use hairy banana in a while. And we can use one of those new crystals we got. Teleport here. And we can use you to go up. Okay. Now that we're here, we can rotate. Oh, I don't think we have enough moon salt. Now we definitely have enough moon salt. No, wait, are you serious? Okay. What bottle kind of screams curse? This one, maybe. Bottle with a pump? No. That's perfume. That's perfume. We have plenty of perfumes for those bottles. I mean, you're not too late. I didn't finish the recipe yet. But yeah. Banana. Oh god, no. I had the best idea for the potion. For a potion. later. Curse. You know what? I think we're gonna leave it like that. This guy, he sells the thing. I don't know why I went here. I didn't want to go here, but yeah, this is the guy that you can buy the potions from, like life salts, which I'm buying. And we're just gonna buy a bunch of new pages, even though at this point I do not need them. And hey, you seem like a guy that's interested in some seeds. Yeah? Now, those seeds are premium quality. You will definitely have an amazing enchanted garden for your alchemy practice. Yeah? It's a deal. Okay. Yeah. Oh, someone needs a stink potion. Interesting. Sorry, the shop is still closed. We are leveling stuff. We're creating a philosopher stone. Eeny, meeny, miny. Let's do haggling over complex topics. I don't know why that, because I should probably like buy the slowness first so I can haggle over extremely complex topics. But yeah, you're gonna get there. Also, there's this one other guy. I don't know, he wears a funny hat. And basically, he usually has better paper deals than the other guy. So at the start of the game, I buy stuff from him. Like, I almost never buy papers from this guy unless he has like a really good sale for me. Which he rarely does, honestly, so yeah. But yes, we made the curse potion. So that's all of our simple potions. Let me just pop them in. And we have the life salt now. Oh wait, life salt is also made with ruby though. Okay, interesting. I did not know that. I was positive that it needs this. Okay, but stench and curse next to it. Stench and curse. Yeah. Now we only need these 4 kinda complex. Kinda complex potions. Okay. This one should be fairly simple. Mana, life, growth, lights, and libido. So let's do that one first. We can do that one on the water base. life. Well, not life, health. Growth. I guess we can do cold life. And I want to do it here so I can still pull away. Like that. Okay, so mana, health, growth, life, and lust. I love that with this update you can finally save the crystal and salt potions. That like really helped a lot to me. Boink, boink, boink. No. Because we need only one. But since we have to go up anyway, I'm gonna just squish this one. And go a little bit up. There. Oh, maybe not. I was like, yeah, that will be... Maybe not. Maybe up till here. Oh, but this can work, so... Hey. That's some pretty colors. Okay. On to the next complex one. Okay, so you are... No, not you. You are done. Okay, growth, glue, magic protection, oil, and shrinking. Oh, God. This one has all of the things, right? Yeah, glue. Okay, that's shrinking. Wait. So, growth. Glue. But then magic protection is all the way there. But oil is here and shrinking. So we're gonna have them in a little bit different order. But it should still be fine. Now the way I'm gonna do it is a little bit different because I'm gonna continue growing from here. Now I guess pay attention. Because basically we have three effects, three of the same effect, but we can push them out. I don't know why I did it. Probably because it's a little, yeah, it's gonna be a little safer than that. So since we have to do 5 effects. Yeah, that's okay. The story progresses normally, so. I'm looking forward to more chapters eventually. Yeah, yeah. You can sometimes like finish the tasks before their time, basically, and it's perfectly fine. Oh no, that left me stuck in the oil. Okay, let's try. Okay. Glue, glue, glue. Do you know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna do one of these. I'm not growing this yet, but eventually we will grow these too. I find it's a really cozy little game. And like, yeah, it seems complex at the first, but once you get the hang of it, it's really nice. That is also true. It's more simple if you have ingredients. I will link you. Wait. In a moment, I will link you something that might help you out a lot. It's basically on Steam. There's this one guide that I thought was deleted, but it's not. Guides. Okay. So basically, this is for more optimized potions. If you want to like maximize, well, your potions with the recipes for your potions. Dang it. So uses the least and the best ingredients for stuff. And you have video guides on it, which is what I used heavily on my first playthrough to optimize some of the things because I was always running out of money. Always. Actually, like if I just go here and just do this, it should be fine. Over here. Yeah, perfect. Okay, we have growth glue and now oil and shrinking are there. And from here I guess I can just slightly like go there. And go a little here. Okay, so oil shrinking. Yeah, no problem. It's not like really spoilers or anything, just to help you optimize stuff better. Really helps on saving the money. Because I gotta tell you, with all the upgrades you do and stuff, money's run short, for sure. Yeah. I mean, you can definitely figure it out on your own. That's always, you know. But I don't know. I went in. I was like, yeah, I can do all of this on my own. But I found that the community around this game is really nice. And like, if there is actual spoilers of the game, they will mark the spoilers. But I feel like this particular thing is not as much as spoilers as just like one person trying to figure out the best possible way to craft the potions. And it saves you some money and time, honestly. Because this can I spent hours and hours on this game. Like on my first playthrough, I would get lost in it. I would play it the whole day. It's wild. And I didn't move as fast as I'm moving right now. In this playthrough, I got kinda lucky with some stuff, I think. Um, Mind you, the first playthrough I didn't actually finish. Because when I wanted to play more, it was like, oh, the new update came out. But yeah, in general, yeah, you can get lost in this for a long time. And if you don't have like hours and hours and hours to play, because you know, we have life, we have other things to do, it's really nice to have things, and you can still enjoy the game the way it's intended to be enjoyed, kind of. Okay, so we have this weird ass potion. That's not big me. What do I put here? There, the wiggly one. Do I save this recipe? I don't know. Technically, I don't have to. But that leaves us with just 2 more potions, which is invisibility, levitation, fear, necromancy, and rejuvenation. Frost, lightning, poison. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, protection. Okay. Frost, lightning, poison, acid, and fire. Okay, that's easy. Which we can also continue brewing from here. Lightning. It certainly does feel nice to have all the ingredients so I can skip over stuff. And growing my own crystals, I think I appreciated that the most in the new update. Okay, I need both poison and acid, so... I need something... Yes, that. Perfect. Well, let's do some Tangleweed. Unless I have way too much Tangleweed. Hopefully we get some underwater growing plants again soon. So we can get rid of some Tangleweed. Okay. Now if we go about here, we can just do that. Okay, that went a little fast for a second there. Okay. And now we just need fire protection. Oof, okay, that was a little tricky there. What one can go in? Oh, also a thing. You can use this whirlpool thing is like if you just gently do this, you can use them to move your potions. That was such a neat trick. So let's go with the Ziggy Zaggy. Hmm. Uh-oh. That was a little too far. It's okay. We can just water it down a bit. And go up here. And water it down a little bit more. And now that fire will push the last frosts. Weak potion of all of the protections. I don't know what I should put on it. Maybe this one. That bottle doesn't. No, this one perhaps. I think this one could be green. This could be like orange. So the colors match a little better. Maybe that purple could be darker. Or actually the shield could be like this darker green. And then this could be purple. Yeah. Sure. We wanted to save the last recipe. I just realized. Yeah. Okay, and okay. Arguably the most complicated one. Invisibility, levitation, fear, necromancy, and rejuvenation. So we're just gonna. Oh. Wait, what am I missing? Wind blooms? Wait, what? I'm missing wind blooms of all things? What? I'm growing my own wind blooms. What do you mean? Okay, better. How many wind blooms did we use today? What? Okay, alright. Continue from here. Okay. Damn. This is like 5 wind blooms. Why? Oh, goodness gracious. Okay, invisibility, levitation. Okay, then fear is up here, so it's close enough. I'm thinking it definitely wants this. But I could also go here. Yeah, because fear is up there. And honestly, since I'm too lazy, we're gonna do Blood Ruby over there. Okay. Invisibility fear, levitation fear. It is levitation, right? Invisibility, levitation, fear, necromancy, and rejuvenation. Okay, so the problem now. Necromancy is over here, inside here. So that's fine. Rejuvenation is all the way over here. This is gonna be one very expensive potion. I think we're just gonna go like around, kinda. Oh, I don't know. I did that. Oh, where do you lead us? Let's see where this takes us. I wanna know. Probably somewhere. No, it just brings us back. Fuck. Do you know what? Why I'm while I'm here? While I'm here, let's get in here. I mean, it's already gonna be like the most expensive potion ever. So why not? You know, my only worry here is that I will forget what I'm doing in the middle of it. Okay. We are getting some levels, so that's good. Levels are always good. Okay, necromancy over here. Oh man. Okay. I believe in us. We can do this. Seriously, this one is the most ridiculous of them all. We are getting closer. Oops. Okay.
Chug, 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 chug.
I was just
Thank you,
thinking
Kyle
about
Lemon
it.
underscore for
Thank
keeping
you.
Seb hydrated.
I was just thinking about it. That I should probably drink because like my mouth is getting super dry. Sorry. Yeah, that hit the spot. I was so thirsty. Surprisingly, no. Surprisingly, no. I'm as surprised as you are. Maybe that works with just like intense games. Not saying that this one is not intense sometimes, but yeah, it's chill. We can take our time. Seriously though, the most expensive potion ever. I want to save the recipe just to see how much I can sell it for. Like at its worst, kind of. Well, worst? When I get all of the perks. Okay, don't fall into the vortex. There, okay. Whew. Oh, okay. Interesting. That's not gonna help us now. Huh. Well. You want me to take a small pause?
Yes, maybe 20 seconds.
20 seconds, okay. I can. You want me to... for like a meme or something? Then I'm gonna do it after stream because that takes more than 20 seconds, babe. I'm sorry. Exactly, I have to start a thing. That's like the most complex thing. Yeah, you can send it to me. I'm gonna be half an hour longer, so. Okay. Okay. Blue is making a module for space engineers for colorblind people. I'm so proud of her. She actually put her own research into it and everything. Which granted, I could have given her research because I have it opened somewhere on, like, I've been doing the research for other purposes. But yeah. I know I feel like a terrible partner, but she did it without me. So, yay. Okay. Now, I'm gonna do these weird funky things, but first we need void salt to erase our mistakes, kinda. Is it mistakes? I don't know. Okay, so first up to like here. Then we're gonna do this crystal. Up to like here. And then we can do another one of these crystals all the way. Oh god. I'm telling you, this is gonna be like the most expensive potion we did ever. It's making me panic. Oh, and we need one more of that. Okay. And now. And then it was time for panic. Quite something going on here. Oh, okay. Cold leaf's gonna be good here. The further I'm in here, the more stressful these little brushes with the death are. I know, like this. Oh. See? See? This is so stressful. Why? It's so pointless. Okay, we're just gonna do one of these to kind of straighten us up there. Oh, gosh. Because now we're pretty far in. We only need one more ingredient, kind of. Not ingredient, sorry. One more effect. And then we officially have all of the potions for the philosopher's stone. And I'm so hecking excited about it. If you did not pick up on that. Those are all kinda too close for comfort, Nani. As long as I don't look at it, it's not happening, right? Last ingredient. Yes, everything. There. Perfect. I'm saving it just because I want to know. I need to know. Oh god. That was so unnecessarily complex. Okay. We're gonna do that now. But okay. So which one were you? Mana healing wild growth will be that you go here. Look how colorful this is. I love it. I want to screech. And, okay, you're the one that goes into this squiggly one. Yes. There's also always a chance that we messed something up. Okay, the last one, the protection one. This one. I did save the protection one, right? Yeah, I did. This one for some reason, protection. Oh gosh. That lagged out, scared me a little. Okay. Correct. Check. Check. Are we ready? I'm not ready. I'm so incredibly stressed out about this. It's just it's it's just a philosopher's tongue, you know. It's not the game over or it's something. Also, I'm a legendary alchemist +1. Okay. Yeah. If I get, we are pulling the lever. Maybe. Should I pull the lever? It's too nerve-wracking. too nerve-wracking. I'm unsure if my if you can hear me properly. Frick it. I shall capture this moment. And we're pulling the lever. Guys, it is done. We have created the philosopher's stone. Our best same recipe. Look how sparkly it is. How pretty. Well, that didn't go well. No. What? Wait, why don't you want to stay on the shelf? What? Please, stand on the shelf. Why? Why not? Is it too low for you? Are you so much... Like, you're just slightly higher than the other ones? Ugh, gosh darn it. Okay. Fine, I get it. Here. All of our crystals. And wait. Oh shit. Wait, didn't we? Yeah, we did have a skull here. That kinda got hidden behind the things. No, no. Nee. No. Back down there. There. Perfection. The best shelf ever. Okay, fine. We can go serve our customers now. I think, yeah. Oh, you need a foul-smelling potion. I got you. Oh, my game is lagging so much. To scare away predators, if you say so. A potion to boost your combat stats. Yes, of course. I have perfect time for it. There you go. Oops. Greetings to you too. Potion to make you smell better. You want a potion that's not so really complicated. One type. No. You want some dream bait. None of you have dream bait. Okay, so what if we took this one, continue brewing from there, and we put the dream bait in, just because. Oh wait, I can't finish the potion here. No, stop. I didn't know. I think this will use pretty much all of my salt. I need to get myself out of this situation somehow, you know. Oh, well, I don't have to add anything else, right? Although, while I'm here, might as well, you know, pick up some experience. There. Oh. Never mind, you can probably finish the potion, I'm just dumb. Okay. Oh, if it doesn't have dream bait, oh my god. I'm sorry. My bad. I'm dyslexic. Okay. Say no more, say no more. I got just a thing for you. Here you go. Oh, I got you, I got you. Oops. Strength during battle and on long journeys. Have you tried this one? He's the mushroom man. Oh, what kind of potion do you need? Oh, I have a perfect thing actually. Very new in store, but I think you're gonna love it. Oh, guys, we're lagging so bad. Let me just save real quick. Maybe that helps. Probably not, but maybe. Yeah, you're gonna love that one. Show me what you got. honestly, I don't really need any of these. I'm gonna buy rainbow cups just because I don't grow any. Hmm. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I'm not even gonna haggle for you because I feel bad now. Because I grow everything. Almost everything. And the potion that will make your body younger. There you go. A potion that slows down movement. There you go. Ice protection, I guess. You don't want it to use water. That's good because all my protection ones use oil base. I need a potion to make slowdown traps. There you go. You urgently need to bring something that your horse is not particularly fast. I got you. Mana potion, of course. You can light your room because you lost your flint. Something you can use to start a fire. You need a potion with multiple effects. Of course you do. Fluff bloom is your favorite ingredient. You'll pick for a potion that has at least a little fluff bloom in it. Okay. I hear you. Oh no, we changed the light potion a while back, I guess. Wait, you need something to light the fire with. Okay, yeah. Oh god. God, we're kinda laggy. Okay. Sadly I can't give you... Well, maybe I can. You said you like fluff bloom and you would like some fluff bloom in. So I guess I can give you some fluff bloom in it. Oops. There we go. No, you wouldn't. You like it like this. Oh well, hello, I didn't see you in forever. you have everything else, so I'm just gonna take this. But may I interest you in some crossover seeds? Yeah, I thought so. Well, see you around. I think that concludes our potion craft for the day. Sleepy time. Now, let me see. Um, you know what? I could leave you with Nico. Nico is currently playing some Minecraft. They're lovely. Go say hi. And yeah, that's where we leave it for today. Oops. Thank you guys for hanging around. Thank you for stopping by to my alchemy shop. As always, stay excellent. And I shall see you tomorrow morning with some more Sims. Maybe we tackle the mansion again. The Landgrab mansion. Maybe not. We will see. It's a pretty big build, a pretty daunting build. I don't thrive on huge builds. So we shall see if that is something we will do or not. And also, yeah, later after that we're doing more Tomb Raider, which I'm really excited about. Hopefully, not a lot of technical difficulties happen, but we shall see. Yeah, as always, stay excellent. Until next time, bye. Yeah, wait. Bye.